What is good, guys? It's Ronald Kabang, also known as Youcapper from Sportsmemo.com. Welcome to another episode of Let's Cap. We got my guy Kevin Braudis here from the Bettor's Box podcast. They go through each MLB game at a super high level. I was talking to him about it before this. He knows every pitcher's arsenal. He knows the angles that these batters are hitting, these fastballs, the velocity and everything, dude. It's another level of baseball that I is going through my brain right now. It's just crazy the amount of stuff that he knows, especially in the MLB. But not only MLB, he's also a great NBA capper, and one of the best prop bettors that I know. Especially on Twitter. KB, man, what's up, man? I'm glad to have you on.
Yeah, Kabang, I'm pumped to be here, man. Thank you for the intro too, man, making me sound good. But yeah, I'm pumped to be here and ready to break down some games and just talk sports, bro.
Yeah, hey, before we get started though, you want to talk a little bit about your Bettor's Box podcast?
Yeah, I'll definitely do that. So like Kabang was saying, I do a podcast on my own with my buddy Riley. And again, basically what we do every single day, Monday through Friday, we post the early looks at 6 a.m. and basically break down the entire MLB slate for that day, 15 games, 16 games, whatever it is. We break them all down every single day and then really just give out quick hitters on each where we're leaning, and then also our best bets. So you can check that out on the Bettor's Box podcast on YouTube, Spotify, and then we also have a TikTok page as well that you can follow. It's just the Bettor's Box pod. So again, it's pretty cool what we have going. And again, Kabang, kind of like you're starting up your own channel. I'm doing the same thing. So it's a good 2022 so far this year, man.
Yeah, for sure. And for you guys, I do have the link for his Bettor's Box podcast, the YouTube channel in the description as well. So you guys check that out. So yeah, let's get into the MLB slate. I know the first game you wanted to bring up here, the Phillies visiting the Seattle Mariners. You were looking at Logan Gilbert here. What's your take on that?
Yeah, I'll talk about it a little bit. Again, like Kabang was saying, it is an afternoon game, guys. It's the Phillies versus the Mariners. And this Logan Gilbert kid, I'm a huge fan of. He's the 6'6" righty, 215 pounds, only 25 years old. Again, this guy has a 4-pitch arsenal. Kabang, a fastball, a slider, a curve, and a changeup, but he really just relies on 2 of them. His fastball, he throws 60% of the time. It's a high heater, 96, 97 miles an hour. He can run it up there, and then he breaks guys off with sliders, and that pitch has been nasty this year. Again, hitters aren't really hitting any of those 2 pitches, and he does a great job of mixing those 2 pitches up. So again, I really like this kid to get strikeouts today because he's going up against the Phillies, and the Phillies are definitely KO'able in my opinion. If you look at their last 3 games, striking out 10 times per game, and I think this is just a great spot to attack Logan Gilbert here. If you look at his previous games, last few games, 6 Ks, 5 Ks, 7 Ks, 4, 7 Ks. So again, he's right around this number. His base is 4 Ks and his high is 7 Ks. And I definitely think he gets 6 to 7 here today versus this Phillies team. He has good stuff. And I looked at previous games where Phillies has faced high velocity guys with a great slider and they have struggled. So again, it's a Logan Gilbert K prop for me over 5.5. That's my play on this one, dude.
Nice. Obviously we got Logan Gilbert. He's been putting up great stats, right? 1.64 ERA, 1.09 WHIP. His average innings pitch is above 5. So would you take a look at the Mariners' first 5 over a Phillies starter? His first time starting.
It's definitely a thing I would lean for sure, again, on the run line, because, again, it would be pretty juicy if you took him on the money line. But, yes, I do trust Gilbert. Like you said, his ERA looks great this year. His FIP even looks good, and a lot of his advanced numbers. The only thing that would be my concern is these walks. Again, if you look at his previous games, he is walking guys 3 walks, 4 walks, 3 walks. So, again, he needs to cut down on that. But the good thing, Kabang, I always say it, if you're going to walk people, you better have good K stuff. And he definitely does. So, again, I definitely can't knock you off a Seattle first 5 on the run line here. I think it's a good spot for them, man.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I like that play a lot. I mean, obviously, I'm from Seattle. I'm a big Logan Gilbert fan. I'm a big fan of the pitching rotation moving forward, too. I think we're going to make some noise. I talked to you before the season started, too. I said the Mariners were going to be a surprise team.
Yeah,
they're going to do a lot. They're going to do a lot better than a lot of people expected. And, hopefully that continues. We just got to get a little bit better on the bats here, to support. But that's a great pick there. KB Logan Gilbert. Over 5.5 Ks. minus 120 there. Next up, we got the Baltimore Orioles visiting the Cardinals. You're looking at the team total. Go ahead. What you got on this one?
Yeah, I'll definitely break it down again. I'm from St. Louis. I'll just be totally honest. Again, I don't want you to call me biased, Kabang, but I have faded the Cardinals a lot this year, and I've backed them a few times too, and I've done super good on them. I always say, like, don't bet with your heart. I know that, but again, you should know your team the best. And again, if you can pick the spots that look difficult and you can back them when it looks like a good spot, and that's just what I do for the St. Louis Cardinals. And I'm taking their team total here. Again, the O's came away with the win yesterday. The Cardinals were kind of throwing a bullpen game, but today they got their ace of this year on the mound, Miles Michaelis, the righty. He's looked phenomenal. His advanced stats look good, but I'm going to stay away from the sides because you can't really get to a minus 225 favorite. But I'm focusing on the team total, like you said. Cardinals team total over 4.5 runs. They're at home. It's going to be 90, 92 degrees here at Busch Stadium. The wind looks good. And again, it's humid. It's humid in St. Louis. And again, the ball should be flying. And when I look at the Spencer Watkins kid, again, 29 years old, his ERA is pretty good. Again, 3.22, but that's not the type of pitcher he is. If you look at last year's stats, they were awful. If you look at his advanced stats this year, his FIP is 5.56. He's allowing the home run ball. He's allowing a ton of walks. Again, he has 10 strikeouts this year and 10 walks. You never like to see that kind of ratio. Again, I really do think this is a tough spot. And when you look at his pitches, he throws a cutter. And again, if you look, the Cardinals struggled with the cutter last time from Bumgarner, but his cutter has been getting hit this year. And when he's throwing to 9 righties, righties are killing him this year. And the Cardinals are going to stack 9 righties in this lineup. Righties are hitting 313 off him with a high slug off this Watkins kid. And again, I think his cutter is not going to be good. It's not like you're getting a lefty cutter. You're getting a righty cutter. And again, that's going to be hard to get past the Cardinals bats. And again, I just like this matchup for the Cardinals. I don't think this Watkins kid's very good at all. And I think he struggles in this one. And if he doesn't struggle, if he lets up 2 or 3, I really do think the Cardinals can get some runs off this Baltimore Orioles bullpen. So that is my breakdown for this game. Short and sweet, Kabang.
Yeah, man, I love it. I think obviously Michaelis is a really great pitcher. Spencer Watkins, like you mentioned, his numbers look a lot better than he probably is as a starting pitcher. And to note too, he doesn't even reach his average innings pitch. It really isn't even hitting the 5 innings pitch at all. So he's not. What do you think about the first 5 on that one on the run line? It's probably still juiced to like minus 1 something, right? I mean,
yeah, it's minus 1. I don't have it currently up, but I know it's minus 1. It's just one of those things. If you're taking the first 5 run line, you kind of just want that half, in my opinion, Kabang. Yeah. So again, it's just one of those games where you look at the spread and it's like minus 1 or minus 215 or minus 220, and it's just hard to touch it. So I usually like to focus on a prop or a team total in those cases if I do like the heavy favorite. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And there's a question here from Mitch. Man, I love this guy. He's active in a lot of the chats, not only my show, but a lot of the guys within our circle. Team total or game over. Orioles have been hot as well. What is your take on that? I know on the road they're a little bit different as a team. 4-10 straight up on the road. Overall on the season, 9-20-1 to the under. What is your take on that question?
Yeah, it's one of those things. If you look at what Michaelis has been doing this year, he's been phenomenal. Again, mixing up his pitches. Lefty's only hitting 206 off him. Righty's hitting 222. He's a huge ground ball pitcher. And you look at this Cardinals defense, it's one of the best in the league. Again, he's going to keep the ball down. And if you look at his ERA, it's a 1.53. His advanced numbers look good. His hard hit rate is almost non-existent. Nobody's hitting this guy hard. And again, he has shown some K upside lately. So again, if the O's, I know the O's have been hot, but if they run into anybody, it's today. It's Miles Michaelis. I think the O's struggle to hit this guy. And again, if you look at yesterday's game, Cardinals didn't even use their best arms out of the bullpen. So I think this is just a tough spot for the O's. It would be a total pass. Again, you can't trust the O's lineup going up against Miles Michaelis. It's just not worth it in my opinion, and it doesn't hurt to pass. You know what I mean, Kabang?
Yeah, I got you. I'm gonna share my screen real quick. I'm just bringing this up. I like to do this during the show. Obviously, the show is called Let's Cap, so we want to look into these types of stuff and kind of show what we look at as far as the numbers. If we're looking at Miles Michaelis here, I mean, obviously you want to see how he's doing as a starting pitcher. The starter analysis. This is from sm.buzz. We're looking at him kind of getting over close to the 6 innings pitch average of 6 innings pitch per start. And his ERA 1.53, like you mentioned, it's very, very low. And on the other side, Spencer Watkins 3.22. But he's not hitting that first, the 5 innings pitch at least. And if we look at the night games, look at Michaelis here. Look at this crazy stat, 3-1, but look at that ERA, 0.74, and he's averaging over 6 innings pitched. I think that might be a look where we could even we could probably take a look at the Orioles under at some point. I mean, like, wouldn't that be a good look as well,
Yeah.
based off of how Michaelis is pitching and that's something that maybe what is your take on that as well?
Yeah, here's my take. I said it with the Angels in my podcast today. Kabang, you know how the Angels are red hot, scoring 23 runs over their last 2 games. Why would you, again, even if they have a hard matchup today against Shane McCallahan, but again, why try to go against the Angels? It's okay to get just pass it, see if they cool down. But right now they're hitting good, and like Mitch said, the Orioles offense has been looking sharp. So again, it's just one of those things. It's a good lean, like you said, Kabang. But again, I just want to touch it because it's just not worth it, in my opinion. Again, teams go through these streaks where they're doing good or they're doing bad. And one thing I did want to hit on, man, the Miles Michaelis at home. I know you brought up his night stats, but since 2020, he has a 2.9 ERA at home, 1 WHIP. Again, he's been really good at home in the past year. So again, I can't knock you off of Cardinals' first 5 here, but I'm just going to stick to the team total just in case the O's somehow do hit, but I just don't see it happening in this one. Yeah.
There you go. Look, if you guys hear those breakdowns, these MLB breakdowns, this is high level MLB breakdowns here with Kevin. That's why I like listening to him talk about MLB, because I mean, obviously MLB is not my main sport. This guy, he used to pitch, right? He used to pitch in college.
Yes, sir.
There you go. See, he knows the game. He knows the game. He knows what he's talking about. He's lived it. So, this is one of the guys that I would trust with my MLB plays, especially on the prop side. He does his work. He does the work to make profitable and really smart decisions. So those are the 2 MLB games that we're going to talk about today. And like I mentioned, he's also a great NBA capper. So let's touch on those games as well.
Let's do it, baby.
We got the first game here, the Bucks visiting the Celtics. Celtics 5.5 favorites, 213.5 is the total. The last time I seen it. What's your take on this one?
Yeah, so this one I'm probably going to stay away from. But again, looking at what the Celtics have been doing, I had a Jaylen Brown under prop a couple days ago. Again, I just think Tatum's stepping up finally. Again, he did have 30 points, and it helped that Horford went off as well. The only thing I can lean here to is a Jaylen Brown under prop. Again, the books just have it priced pretty high. I think it was 25.5 last time I looked. I don't have it pulled up. But again, that would be a way I lean in this one. And gun to my head, I like the Celtics at home. So again, I think the Celtics to cover here is a good spot. But again, it's always scary going against Giannis and the Bucks. And a player prop I did want to mention, again, like you said, I'm more bigger into props in NBA than I am sides and totals. A prop that looks really good tonight is Giannis going for his assist. I think his assist line is too low at 6.5, minus 105 on DraftKings currently. This man's been averaging a ton of assists lately. And then if you look at the series compared to his regular season total, he's been seeing 54 assist opportunities in this series so far. So again, this to be 6.5 is a joke, and hopefully they focus more on Giannis' shooting, and that makes him pass more. So I think that would be a good look here if you wanted to take a player prop in this one. Give me your thoughts though, Kamei.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with Middleton out, he's been able to control the ball a little bit more, right? He's been more of a ball handler at the top of the key, and if they're doubling on him when he gets into the paint, he's gonna have to distribute the ball out to the side. So he's gonna have to trust his teammates to make those shots. But he's getting a lot of opportunity for assists. And he's also, this is a key game here as far as the series goes. So I don't see him sitting on the bench for a long period of time. So as far as opportunities for all those assists, it's going to be there. That's my opinion here. And also with how the Celtics are probably going to have to adjust defensively. How he played in the last game, how he's been playing this whole series. They're going to need to adjust defensively for Giannis and force him more to pass the ball. So, I mean, obviously, just opportunity-wise, the assist look is really great here. Mitch mentioned Horford PRA. Man, he's been killing it lately. Maybe that's something that we could just do live here on the spot. Let's bring this up.
Yeah, that's one of those things, Kabang, when you see a player prop like that. I mean, like those stats out, he's just been killing it, you know? Like sometimes that's hard to back that. And I know another guy popped up. I'll touch on that. He said Tatum over in rebounds. I like his over and assists more for Tatum. I think that's a much better play. It looks like it's at 5.5 right now. And if you look at what he's been doing, he's seeing 13 attempts per contest so far in this series. And also, if you look at his assist rate, compared to the regular season, it's up 25% as far as assists goes. So I would definitely lean to Tatum's assist over rather than his rebounds. I just think that's a better look here. But yeah.
So this is Edge House. This is a prop tool that I use to kind of quickly glance through what's available and sort of the quick trends here. So one thing that was mentioned was it PRA for Horford. So we can bring that up real quick. What they have the PRA at is 25.5. He's gone over just 2 out of the last 5 times. Is that right? Does that look right to you guys? I think the last one, obviously, he went over by a lot.
Yeah,
but trend wise, I mean that's what it is. Two overs out of the last 5 games. It's weird, right? Because when we do these playoff games, obviously they're different. That they take it game by game. So that one's pretty tough. I mean, I could see it going over, but trend wise, that's not the way it's looking. One thing to look at here is the Giannis assist. I think he's been hitting that at a higher clip right there. So 66% to the over in the last 3 weeks. So it's definitely a good look there. Obviously, he's trending in that direction. And just game flow, right? You want to look at these trends, but also do the eye test. Is the opportunities there?
And one thing we talked about before the show, Kabang, was kind of like these playoffs are different, guys. The guys are going to get more minutes, and then there's also going to be different game plans as far as defense goes. So if they do want to try to lock up Giannis, he could easily be dishing more, and we've seen it cashing this in 75% of his games so far in the playoffs. So again, over his assist is a good look here. That's just my way I would lean in this one, man.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense to me. And for me, I'm looking at the under here. I'm likely going to take it and make it an official play. But a lot of the trends to me are pointing towards the under, and also just the overall game flow. I know the last game went over, but to me, the way that it didn't even go over by a lot. To me, the trends are looking towards the under here. If we look at towards the Celtics, how they do as home favorites in conference games against teams with a winning record, so playoff caliber teams, they're 10-5 to the under in those situations. On the Bucks side, 6-1 to the under as road dogs in conference games against teams with a winning record. And another trend here, I always want to, especially in the playoffs, you want to see how they do against other winning teams, because that's the caliber of that's the level of teams that they're facing. And when they play against winning record teams and the total is 220 or less, they're 12-4 to the under with an average combined score of 210.5 in a 16 game sample size. So for me, the way the game flow is and how the Bucks strategize against high caliber teams, I just feel like it's going to go towards an under here. That's my take on that game.
Bang, real quick, gun to your head. Are you taking Boston or the Bucks tonight? I'm just curious.
Man, all right. So this is where it went crazy because I do like Celtics to win the game, but I feel like it's at that point where there is a chance that they can win but not cover. That's where the line is at for me right now. Typically the 4.5 to like 7.5 range is like, all right, they could win but not cover. You know what I mean? Like that's the point where it gets really dicey for me. And that's what I'm seeing here, and that's kind of why I'm staying away from the side. I mean, to be honest, I mean it's still early in the day, and more information can come out. People, as I dig into it a little bit more, maybe I can change it up, and maybe it'll be the Celtics. But right now, I just want to focus on that total. That's the way that I'm gonna go with here.
I'm with you, man.
Yeah. Mitch, he's going to outline -9.5. There you go. That's confidence, right? That's confidence there. But yeah, all right. So let's take a look at this next game. The Golden State Warriors. Golden State Warriors -4. 219 is the total against the Grizzlies. Obviously, John Morant here is the big news. A lot of people were talking about 20-5. Grizzlies were 20-5 straight up. Without him. But obviously they took the L in the last game, but they stayed close for a majority of it. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna stay away from the sides again. Kabang, you know me. Again,
Yeah.
it's just playoffs, and like you mentioned, man, that Celtics line, it's tight. It's really tight going up against the Bucks. And again, it's just one of those things. The playoffs are tight, and I think you find values on player props, and that's what I've been on doing great on all year long. So why kick it out now? One I loved here, and I just submitted my ticket. Kabang. It's going to be on Andrew Wiggins, and I'm going to be taking his rebounds over in this game, 5.5. If you look, they're playing a small ball lineup. So again, Wiggins is kind of there just taking all those, and he's getting 14.3 chances per game, 14.3 rebound chances per game. And this line is at 5.5. I think it's a complete joke. If you look at his previous games, last game he had 10. The first 2 games in the series, he had 9 and 8 rebounds. Again, this to be 5.5, I get it. It's minus 145 as far as juice goes. But if you get a better line, 5.5, I would take it for plus money for sure. Again, 6.5, I would take it for plus money. I definitely do think he crushes this line, and I'll take this anytime. If a player's seeing 14 or 15 opportunities a game as far as rebounds go, I'm going to be taking his rebound prop over. And if you look from his rebounding rate compared to the regular season to the postseason, it's up by 44% right now. He's hustling. It's just a clear rebound prop for me in this game, and that's the only way I can really look. But I'm curious, if gun to your head again, who you taking, Golden State or the Grizzlies, man?
Man, so this is tough. Obviously the whole trend with Ja Morant out and how the Grizzlies do, but for me, it has to be the Golden State Warriors. A lot of the games that the Grizzlies played without Ja were in the regular season, and we were talking before this. It's just a different. The motivation in the playoffs just hits differently, right? The coaching aspect of it is different as well. You're not looking ahead to a different game. You're not thinking about what happened in the game prior. In the playoffs, it's too important to focus on the game at hand. They take it one game at a time, and to me, the Warriors are just the much better team here against a Grizzlies without their key player. You can cover for a star player in the regular season, but you can't do that in the playoffs. He's too big of a factor for this Grizzlies team. So to me, I would take the Warriors here. I do like the over a little bit better. Another thing to notice is how Grizzlies did without Ja Morant as away dogs versus home dogs. So I'm gonna bring this up real quick. I think I had. So I'm looking at Grizzlies without Ja Morant. I know I just talked about how regular season is different because of how the coachability is, right? But you can also still take away from how they run the offense and how they do in different situations. So when you look at the Grizzlies here, um, at, during the regular season without Ja, you're looking at 117 average offensively, 104.4 defensively. You can see it kind of the shooting percentages here. But if you factor in if they were the away dog, right, like they were in the previous game, we got this one right on the show as far as going under. They average 105 and allow 105 per game in a small 5-game sample size. But if you look at the shooting percentages here, their offense struggles a little bit, right? If you go back home without Ja Morant, you get a little nice travel spot. You can see their shooting percentage gets better, but also their defensive efficiency takes a hit. It's like they're kind of trying to balance it all out, and you can see that with the total here, 119.6 and 111.8, and this is above the closing total of 219 right now. So for me, the way that I would look would be towards the over. As far as pace, efficiency, and all that stuff, I can see that translating over to the playoffs without Ja. But as far as the side perspective, the opponent will probably take it a little bit differently without Ja. So that's just my take on it. I would probably lean more towards the over than anything on the side. But a gun to my head, like you said, it would likely be the Warriors to win this one. And it's at a line to where it almost seems like you're asking them to just win the game. And
Right.
For me, that's where it is. It might come down to free throws. You never know.
Yep.
The Warriors pretty much showed that they could to stick around with the Grizzlies showed that they could stick around for at least 3/4 of the game. If they do that again and maybe pick up some momentum in the fourth quarter, um, they this could come down to free throws, in
Yep,
my
I
opinion.
totally
Yeah.
agree. Do you have any futures on the NBA finals right now? Like anybody to win it? I'm just curious.
No futures as far as actual bets, but in a preview to the playoffs, I did like the Warriors and the Suns to advance to the
Okay.
Western Conference Finals, and then I think I had if I'm not mistaken, the Heat and the Celtics, or was it Heat? I forgot on the East. I remember saying the Heat, the East Coast was really wide open, but it was
Mm-hmm.
a more clear on the West Coast with the Suns and the Warriors. So.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Cool.
that was what I was thinking. Oh, do you have any futures on it?
I do not. No, I kind of stayed clear. I even told myself, I'm not gonna bet the NBA playoffs. But then I was like, you know what? I'm doing it. So then I jumped in full force. So again, I'm just focusing on
Yeah,
player props throughout the playoffs for sure because these sides are sharp, man. They're all sharp for sure.
yeah. I love it. All right, so we touched on the MLB, a couple of games. You gave out some plays there. We touched two games in the obviously the NBA here. Do you touch the WNBA at all, like the small markets and stuff like that, or
I
are
do
you
not,
thinking
man.
about
That's
it?
a little that's above me. I don't know how you guys do that. Again, that would take a lot of work to get into. I really just stick with three mainly: NFL, MLB, and NBA. Those are my three. It keeps me busy all year long, kabang. So again,
Yeah.
you're messing with WNBA right now?
Yeah, I love the WNBA, to be honest. I mean, I talked to Ski about it a lot. Jay Money is getting to the WNBA a lot this year specifically. I think that market is really going to start booming because we were talking. Me and Ski was talking about like last year you couldn't get WNBA lines until the day of because it's not popular. But now
Right.
you're getting to see the lines the day prior, and that's kind of showing that they're actually getting action. They're getting a lot more
Wow.
action. And with small markets, I was talking. We talk about this a lot with small markets. If you take advantage of the early lines, you can get a lot of closing line value. And
Yep.
CLV is something that we talk about a lot. Um, like yesterday, you probably could have got one of the totals at 163 and a half. Game ended at 165, but the closing total was 169 and a half. So you
Wow.
can see in that 6.6.5 point gap, you could have either won or lost depending on when you got it, and definitely when you get in early, you're getting that advantage. So
No,
having
you
these
make a
small
great
markets,
yeah, you make a
having the
great
small
point.
markets is great.
Yeah, maybe I need to jump on to that side. I'll definitely have to talk to you, Jay, and
I mean,
see
a
about
lot
that.
of the strategy is very similar to what we do in NBA. It's all the psychological aspect of it, travel, rest. Obviously you need to know some of the players,
Yeah,
and eventually you'll understand. There's a lot of you'll see who the key players are for each team.
yeah.
But yeah, the small market I feel like is where it's at right now.
Mitch had a good comment. NBA heads will need to watch something.
Right? Yeah, the degenerates
Yeah.
they're gonna be coming somewhere. But yeah,
Yeah.
so that that's the end of the show. Do you want to plug anything before
No, man,
before
I'm
we
just
end?
happy you had me on, brother. Thank you so much, man. And we should make this happen a lot, dude. I'm gonna have you on my channel as well. And again, guys, if you're curious,
Make it
it's the
happen.
Bettor's Box podcast. I'm on YouTube as well, and go check me out. And we're gonna have Kabang on there as well, man. But that's it, Kabang.
Yeah, yeah. Then like I said, the link is over in the description below. So that's the end of the show. Hey, you guys also you see this Ticket to Anywhere podcast? That's actually my sister-in-law. You guys follow her too. They do a lot of work with traveling. If you ever want to go somewhere amazing, check out their podcast. But yeah, so this is the end of the show, guys. Once again, thanks for tuning in. Show some love by hitting the like and subscribe button so you don't miss scheduled shows or any other content. I want to something that I want to try doing during the playoffs, especially is like a live reaction because I know a lot of us we like to see how the game's going. We like to talk a little bit of stuff during the game when it's your team is up, and then kind of be quiet when your team is down. But we want to do that live, so that's going to be fun. Hopefully, do that a lot more of that. I did that the other day with guys like Chris and Finesse, so that was fun. But
Can
yeah,
I bring some beer on, Kabang?
you can bring some beer on. That's
Let's
totally
go.
fine.
All right, I'll
Yeah,
be there,
yes,
man.
sir. It's like a little happy hour. We can do
I
that.
like it.
But yeah, but I always want to end with this. Let me just remind you guys, fade or follow us. It's on you to make the call. Good luck. Good luck on all you guys' action. Until next time. Peace.